Do it.
Question me.
Do
I will break you. Like stick.
You will try.
Not try, I will break you.
You will try.
Okay, so, Lizzie's going to be late. Fantasy Grounds is open. If someone wouldn't mind streaming their screen for probably through
Thanks.
Discord.
You're cool.
My Steam never launched Fantasy Grounds. Okay, there we go.
Is
I thought it was open and I went to tab over. I'm like, where is it?
dead. Oh, display capture, game capture. Why are you not capturing specific screen? No, no capture.
No, why? Why you be gay?
My game capture, for whatever reason. Huh. So, I seem to have broken it.
Oh no.
No, no.
The game capture. It will not capture Fantasy Ground.
This is so sad.
Ooh,
Sad
I know
is
why.
This entire week I've been trying to do shit on PC and I've just been getting blue screens left and right for some reason.
Yeah, it's been happening to me a lot as well. Well, whatever. We capture my desktop. It's fine. Or just the screen. My whole monitor is okay. A-okay, I tell you. A-okay. So, does anybody want to try to recap? Also, Red's probably going to join late, if she joins at all, so we will find the layout later.
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you.
And some stuff happened.
That's
We
putting
went
it
down
one
some
way.
chains.
Alright, back.
Someone had an unfortunate accident. We don't talk about it. We've just, as a collective, chosen to forget about it. There were
The
some-
unnamed human
there's-
being
There's
who
some
wasn't
devilly
even
boys.
human.
We were stuck on a pillar for a minute. Tessin almost fell, and then I think maybe actually did fall because Red rolled a 1. We went
I almost
further.
fell too.
We went into this horrible hellscape. We had to try to find a house, but we didn't. We just found some death machine instead, and decided we live here now. So
That
Pretty much.
just
That's
about
if
sums
I
it up. You
remember right.
managed to make it down the chains binding Elturel to Avernus. You lost a party member along the way, but you also lost some in real life, so it doesn't matter. Insignificant.
brutal.
Ouch.
Apply
um,
cold water to burned area. Holy
See, it's
shit.
channel still, or can we quote that? Holy
most
fuck.
most of you took a large amount of damage from the chains themselves, as the infernal iron is not meant to be handled by mortal beings. Then when you finally managed to survive the descent off of the chains, you managed to make it to the to the tower or the spike binding it to the actual plane of Avernus, and there you were surrounded by devils and demons of the Blood War raging. And you had to make a choice, and you had to figure out how to get down. You managed to get down, got a good distraction off, and then you still managed to get attacked by the very back end of the pack. But you made short work of them, and you continued to run away from the river Styx, away from the city of Elturel, and following Lulu's guide towards Fort Knucklebone. You managed to find yourselves what appears to be an infernal machine, unlike any you've ever seen before, and were able to hole up inside of it for the night. Well, night as best you can tell. There is no actual day-night cycle. Now comes morning, and the lot of you, except for Tessin, are woken by a horrendous, wretched screaming. that sounds like a war cry that is little more than a desperate, blood-curdling wail off in the distance.
Oh, it isn't the closet in a bottle?
No.
Aw.
And you find yourselves in this machine. It has dividers, it has pillars, it has supports for an open concept to allow people and things to move around inside of here, but it is still very cramped with 5 of you inside of here, sleeping.
Alright, so is there like windows or like a top up hatch
There's
to the
hatches
outside or
and
something?
windows.
Wherever the blood curdling screeching be going on, I'm gonna open like a hatch or a window. Oh, and see what's out there.
Or in
You-
hell, there's always screaming.
You finding what appears to be like the driver's hatch for what we would understand like a tank or a car.
Mm-hmm.
There's a seat with pedals in the floor that you struggle to push as this machine is just rusted over time, being wasted upon the plane. But you do manage to find like a thing that you lift out and you can look around without exposing yourself too much. And the scream was short-lived, and you have no idea quite where it came from. It was muffled through the metal of the machine, or just the metal of this thing. You have no real idea as to what is actually happening.
Yike.
Can't believe Toby died again.
Do you have Revivify prepared?
It doesn't work on constructs, computers.
What? I'm back.
Seriously, where'd Donald go? He actually died.
I think so.
Would
So
not.
he's back. Hey, Revivify worked. You're welcome.
I
So
don't know what happened.
I guess I kind of look up at Marcus. What was that? See anything out there?
I see absolutely jack shit. There is nothing but desert.
Fair enough. I'm going to, just for safety's sake, Gus, I'm going to pull out a little flask of oil and light up my lantern.
Got it. And this thing was illuminated dimly before, but now that there's actual light, you can see the rust and damage. You can see scratch marks where things were pulled and twisted. You see broken bits of metal bent and twisted out of the way for things to have been pulled out. You see a chair, what looks to be like a chair, kind of thrown into the back of the machine that you all came past as you got in, resembling one in the front. And you can see its base where it would have attached on the inside of the machine. This thing appears to have been picked clean for materials. For what purpose, you cannot devise.
It's definitely because Chukka and Kalonk.
And this is the magic lantern, so.
The Lantern of
Sweet.
Revealing, yes. There's nothing actively
No more frogs.
magical about this, yeah. There's nothing invisible, there's nothing hiding, nothing...
I'm
There's
leaving
only
it
the
lit
one.
just in case. It lasts for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil.
I need to look
Just
up
going to carry.
I need to look up the Lantern of Revealing. But what you guys doing? What's happening? Who is
So
doing...
have we had a long rest at this point?
Yes, you
Or
all
are we
were
just-
awoken by what
Okay.
sounds like a blood-curdling scream, reminiscent of a war cry far off into the distance.
Well, doesn't seem like you're after us at the moment. We might have room to breathe, maybe
All we
some
can
breakfast, whatever time it is.
do. All we can do is have some rations and get on our way.
So, you all just pass on the rations and
Yeah.
partake? Cool.
I'm the one who is carrying the rations, so I will knock off the appropriate amount. How much would that be, Gus?
They're 1 day, so remove one charge of it so that it's like you've passed them out, but the
Mhm.
rations you pass out will last for a full day.
Okay.
This is food that you managed to salvage and you brought with you from Baldur's Gate and Elturel down to the plains, and you've not yet
Yep.
properly eaten anything. You've had small bits of water, small bits of dried jerky and biscuits, but just the quick intensity of everything, you kind of glanced over it. But now actually sitting down resting, the water as you drink has a bitter taste. Your food is bland and ashen almost. It's still consumable, but whatever taste value it had is gone. Your entire meal consists of incredibly bland, bitter, ashen flavors almost. As if everything had been burned and poisoned.
Great.
Welcome to Avernus.
Tasty.
Poison. Poison's a strong word.
Need to look up the lantern of revealing. Da-ba-da-ba-da.
That's done. All the rations will go back into the bag of holding. My nice, lovely pocket dimension of keeping things fresh.
You actually have a bag of holding. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've had it.
Thank you for the food.
Plus this alchemy jar.
Jeez.
Better make it last. It's a lot, but it's all we've got. Not to mention that was nasty.
I get the feeling everything down here is going to be that way.
Unfortunately, better get used to it.
Tessin wakes up and begins to just eat some of the rations that you had set next to him. He doesn't say anything, he's just focused on eating, though he does also immediately notice this taste alteration to the food.
Yeah, pretty sure that's because we're in hell.
Be better? Be better? So I suppose everyone else is just resting up.
Yeah, you guys have finished a long rest, you're all awake.
Mental-
Everyone except Drifter has to eat.
Mental prep before we have to go out into the wilderness.
My mic's
Yep.
been muted.
Go devil
Apologies.
hunting.
Oh!
Aw.
I was figuring that was being quite quiet for some reason.
Yeah.
Excuse you, put that away. Cow?
It's like, I got a phone call. It's my stepdad yelling at me.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was,
The
They're trying to
hoe.
get me to play D&D over there, because he's like, I'll just pick you up when I get back. I was like, no. I'm supposed to go over there for the night with the kids in the morning, but... Angie. Anyway, also, hell makes me angry. Back to hell.
Hell makes me angry. I love that.
Nice. Alright. What y'all's doing?
Taking a look at the map and then
You
heading
you
to
look at
Fort
the map.
Knucklebone.
You look at the map and you see just depictions of all sorts of things. And Lulu, once you pulled the map out, she gestures to about where Elturel is, and I'll bring it up on. The worst part is that there's a marked one that I have as the DM that I could show you, but I have to give you the unmarked one because you don't get to know the names of places.
Nice thing is it's the first thing on the images and maps tab.
Lulu
that
gestures with her trunk about where Elturel would be above the river Styx. And from what you can see, it lies behind a cliffside hill jutting up over the river Styx, and large iron spires that jut forth from the river itself. The purpose, you have no idea, they're just there. What appear to be small watchtowers line the river, and a large volcano and black morass are lying in the direction of your journey, though she gestures below them and says, I believe that this is where the fort lies. Though it is a hefty journey, we should go so that we make it before too long.
Agreed.
You're certain it's safe to go to this fort?
Nothing is safe, though I can guarantee you it.
Relatively. The people there aren't going to, kill us on sight.
No, they abide by a treat well and respect policy, though the other warlords are fair game. I do so miss them.
I guess that's good enough for now.
Lulu kind of begins like flapping her way towards the sole door that exists into this thing from behind.
Oh, lead on. Lead on. Apparently you can see whatever trail we can't.
Not the trail. I just know that this is this direction.
Yeah, didn't she say about seeing some trail last time?
No, she went and scouted and she knows where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see that she's constantly like, flying up a little bit higher, checking her bearings before continuing on. And just for miles, this plain stretches. You see hills rising off in the distance, a burning volcano spewing smoke far off in the distance to your left. And behind you, the river Styx marks a black line channeling its way through the plains.
We made it to Mordor,
Perhaps
Mr.
we
Frodo.
move a little further inland away from said river before we continue, before we beeline straight to there.
And that's
Safety's
actually what
sake.
you're doing. You are actually
Yes.
moving inland away from the river.
Right.
Oh, thank God, because I don't want to be walking right along the freaking shores. That's when some demon shit walks up and grabs me by the ankle.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
want to be
she's...
near.
Yeah, no, she's leading you away from the river inland.
Yeah, that's when some freaking hellhound shit jumps up, grabs your ankle, and pulls you right in.
And you hear a thunderous crack. As you look back behind you, you watch as the blue lightning emanating from the companion, visible for miles, streaks its way down and into the ground below, and presumably kills many demons and devils as its power goes unchecked and uncontained. Almost as if on cue, meteors begin to descend. Falling stars of just massive fire begin to collapse around. They're a fair distance off from you guys, but that doesn't change that these are significantly large rocks raining from a sky unseeable behind what appears to be fire and clouds of ash as they slam into the hellscape, furthering its destruction.
Oh, no time like the present. Yeah, let's make haste.
Agreed.
As you guys travel, you begin to feel the weariness of this rest you took. Yes, you rested, but that does not change a cramped condition with heat that begins to rise and dim at irregular intervals, but never drops below just a point where you feel as though you're perspiring, but not enough to actually begin to sweat. A miserable state of being. You begin to just feel tired, and just your body is sore from this place. Just the high amount of intense activity and adventure you've gone under has just begun to put strain on your bodies. I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw as you begin your journey.
Yippee-ki-yay.
So sad.
Constitution gang.
Yep. Alright, so...
She live.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm having everybody roll a con saving throw for beginning their journey in Avernus and beginning to just feel... I forgot to turn my camera on for you guys. Just feeling the intense pressure and just weariness of this place wearing on you. This place has just begun to take its toll. Just intense activity followed by sweltering heat, the scent of sulfur everywhere you go filling your lungs. No matter who you are, you can't get used to this. So, I'm going to have Ranmei. What was your Constitution saving throw?
10.
10?
10.
You succeed. I'm gonna have Tessin.
11.
You succeed. Tobias.
He's getting his dice out, and his
Okay.
mic apparently is not working.
Alright.
Yike.
We'll get back to Tessin.
Donald
Drift
just
or Tobias.
screamed
Drifter.
So
Yeah,
that
Donald
Lizzie
just
picks
yelled.
it up.
That's a nat 1. 5.
5.
Alright, we'll get back to that in a second. Drifter.
21.
You succeed. Marcus.
16.
Okay. Tobias, as you begin to
Okay.
crawl out, you feel
He'll be
your
right back, or...
I'm
No,
right here.
he's good. Okay.
as you begin to crawl forth from this metal husk, you feel your muscles and the soreness in them. your mind is weary, and just the thought of trudging on just begins to has set into your mind just misery as you suffer an exhaustion point, as this place just wears on you, as has begun to take its toll.
What do exhaustion points do again?
The first exhaustion point that you suffer gives you disadvantage on, I believe, saving throws and ability checks.
Ability scores in general. Just ability checks.
So,
Goodness.
not yet combat rolls, but... Yeah, disadvantage on ability checks is the first level of exhaustion. I should probably have this thing in a much more visible... Oh, can I put this on my tower? Okay.
Could he?
Lego display has to go. I have a bunch of my
Oh,
Old
no.
Republic, Imperial, and other Legos, like on a little stand that I put on my computer
Get
to
rid
look
of
at.
the
'cause they're funny.
Republic dogs. D&D is more important.
I did. You
Oh
fucking
yeah, fantasy grounds.
traitor.
Red, you
I can't put it on my tower. It's not
I'm
conducive.
okay for now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Dead, and that's usually me.
Scree would have been here, but he woke up feeling like absolute garbage, so we're not gonna worry about it.
It do be like
we
that.
will introduce him next week, which is just as fine.
It do be like that, though.
Tessin, you just
Which one is
to catch
Scree,
you up a
Chuck
little
or
bit.
Clonk?
You when you had your breakfast rations, just a small amount of water, dried biscuits, probably some jerky, everything was bitter and ashen. Any and all flavor, like even the salting on the jerky, it was disgusting. But you had to eat. And Lulu continues to trudge on. And on and on. Are you guys going to do anything during the next hour of travel? You want to roleplay this?
Got nothing that really comes to mind. Want to expedite it?
I will leave it up to you guys. If you want to
It
start
seems like
talking,
we
you start
should- we
talking.
should probably. Oh, stuff. Is there any fighting in the immediate vicinity of us? Like, is there any reason we'd have to be quiet or
Roll
have
perception.
to leave the area immediately? Okay.
I'm looking something up specifically. Okay.
18.
Okay. With an 18, you see several things. You see what appears to be multiple swarms of small black masses, black pitted against the flaming sky, swarming around. You see what appear to be... You're from, where again? Remind me?
Oh, I wrote that down. Yes.
Well, you see creatures reminiscent of the honeybee, though they have no fuzz. They're significantly large, almost like a horse. And
Wasp.
they are. You see what appears to be a tinge of red in coloration with a firm, sturdy body. You see several of these things kind of just patrolling the air individually or in packs, but other than that, nothing seems to be paying you any mind. Listening hard, you can hear just fire around you as just the plane itself burns and catches fire sporadically. You hear the impacts of meteors echoing off in the distance, but nothing catches your attention within your immediate vicinity to give you reason for concern.
Gotcha.
So you guys, how quickly are you guys traveling? You guys moving at a normal pace, a slower pace, a faster pace?
Normal, but I'd say like slightly faster.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably don't want to push ourselves too much in case we get another hit.
Walking with intent.
Yeah.
Walking with intent. So I'm gonna say normal. Doesn't quite qualify as fast. You guys
Unfortunately.
traveling.
It shaves off 2 minutes, but hey,
Yeah.
that's 2 minutes.
You guys managed to get what Lulu says. Come on, we've begun our journey. We're nearly halfway there, but not quite. As she says this, maybe the poor choice in wording wasn't right. But you guys have, in the span of this hour, managed to travel 3 miles. As you begin to just feel, your legs are sore, your body's cramped, your mind's weary. I need all of you to make me another Constitution saving throw.
Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer.
Oh no.
Well,
So-
mine.
Tessin, what did you get? A 5? Okay. You begin to feel exhaustion set in as just the awful food and the cramped conditions and the sweltering heat just drain you as you suffer your first level of exhaustion. Ranmei,
Okay,
dirty 20.
the same.
you're safe. Tobias,
17.
you're safe for now. Drifter,
9.
strange though it may be, your joints begin to creak, your mind begins to wander, less focused on your surroundings. Your feet drag in the dust, and you have to push yourself to keep walking. Even
His
through your
driftwood
armor, you
is
can
starting
feel
to
yourself
driftwood
slowing down a small bit as this place and just whatever fills this air, the ash, the dust, begins to affect your body. You suffer a level of exhaustion. Marcus.
16 again.
You see several of your friends begin to just slow down, have to force themselves to carry on. And you feel the same wave of lethargy, but you shake your head and soldier on. You're used to hard marches. This is nothing. And as you begin your trudge, Lulu...
Come on now, there's no time to slow down.
Also, curious, what's our marching order?
I'm
I'm
having you
trying,
guys just in
Brian.
a pack, constantly changing position, walking around. Like, it's not... I'm not uber concerned about it. You're all over the place in this little group. With Lulu...
I was
Lulu
just
is
imagining
leading.
the sad, exhausted boys lagging behind.
At this point, yeah, you guys... Like, Tobias had been lagging since the beginning of the journey, but now Ranmei and Tessin, you've kind of joined him in the back of the pack. You're still keeping up, but you have to really push yourselves to do so.
I'll help them out. Here.
Or Drifter and Tessin, not Ranmei. And Lulu kind of continues to fly up and ahead and, like, you know, seems to, like, head off in different directions, continually moving, like, in one direction. And checking on the map, Marcus, she seems to be heading west or eastward, mostly, almost southeast, kind of on the map, if the top is north. You don't actually see a compass on here, which is strange. This has a lot of, like, just artistic decorations around it. And you find yourselves kind of just admiring the angelic figure in the bottom the most. Why it's there, you have no idea, but it's definitely a very embellished map. And one thing you begin to realize as you reach the halfway point in your journey, this map, while it is a good direction placeholder, is not really accurate in showing distances. As you begin to compare how far you've traveled, how far you would have traveled on a normal map comparing to your surroundings, you haven't moved at all, comparatively. These places are still way off in the distance, though you do see rising before you what looks to be like a line ridge of hills, scattered and curving in an S shape. Ranmei, what were you doing?
I was just offering to help the exhausted people kind of keep up.
Okay.
Keep in the back with them in case something does happen.
Okay. So as you guys press on, traveling another 3 miles within the span of an hour, just pushing on, carrying on.
Way, hey, and up she rises, way.
Marcus and Lulu
And
were
up
just
she
up front.
rises,
Lulu
way, hey,
turns-
and up she rises
Marcus-
early in the morning.
Remind me where we got this map
Marcus
again,
is
by the way.
singing. Marcus is singing a good, jaunty little song, giving everybody inspiration.
Oh
Hey.
shit, really?
Now multi-classing into a bard.
He's becoming a bard.
What DM? This is DM inspiration. So any
This is
D20
worse
you
than exhaustion points. He's becoming a bard.
DM inspiration. So the way DM inspiration. So when you roll a D20, you can re-roll that D20 once, and then your inspiration's gone. All of you make another Constitution saving throw as you continue to press on, and Lulu tries to inspire you by saying you're halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
So, Tessin, this face concerns me. What'd you get?
A 1?
Tessin.
So 2?
Even with the
You like to use your
even with the DM inspiration, you don't want to try to counteract a nat 1.
Yeah, gonna do that. Oh, that's a total dirty 20.
Okay. With disadvantage because you already have a oh, that's ability
Your
checks.
saving
Saving throws
grace
are
was
later.
a drunken sailor.
I rolled a nat 1. Do I really need to roll a disadvantage for that?
No, disadvantage comes at exhaustion level 3 for saving throws. So no, you're just all rolling straight. Tessin, you succeed. Ranmei.
A 7.
Ranmei, sticking back with them, you kind of like are trying to push them forward, but you also have to hold yourself back to stay with them. But this just forced march almost has begun to wear on you, wearing heavier armor, carrying your shield, and trying to
It's been a few
get these
hours.
people marching. You've been traveling for 2 hours and you've crossed a fair
My
distance.
armor's getting dusty.
You feel tired
like
as
it.
well, and you suffer a point of exhaustion. Tobias, Would-
Oh, I got 13.
barely succeeding. You manage to stave off another wave of exhaustion as you just shake your head and you just shoulder on, seeing, and just Marcus's jaunty tune gives you a little bit of hope. Drifter,
Yeah,
what'd you get?
that would be a 11.
You suffer a second point of exhaustion as the dust begins to climb into your joints. As the more you try to shake it free, the worse you make this problem.
Freaking C-3PO up in here. On Tatooine.
Which now, your speed is now halved, meaning if you guys wish to continue moving, you must move at a slower pace to keep pace with Drifter.
There's no, like-
Marcus,
That's a 26.
This march is something you've been through before. The hellscape is something totally new, but damn it, you're a soldier, you're a professional, you're not gonna let a little walk get to you. However, the group travel speed has gone from a normal pace to a slow pace to keep up with Drifter.
Cool. This is fun.
Bot's not doing too hot.
Nope.
Or so Drifter can
There's
keep up with the
nothing
Oil
group.
bath.
particularly interesting around us at the moment.
No, it just
The
there's
endless hellscape. of
there
planes
you.
is
I
so
will
fast.
say I'm gonna have you roll perception if you want to just take a look at your surroundings and see anything that catches your eye besides just the bleary, blasted red sands and
Yeah,
what
can I
and
assist
bone
with that
dust.
as well?
Yeah, you're. This is just what do you see? Like I'm just checking. Roll a d20. Add your perception. What do you see?
I got 16.
With a 16, you see that the plane, for whatever reason, like geysers of flame just poof forth sporadically, sending dust and dirt flying everywhere. One occurred less than a couple hundred feet off to you guys' right, and and Ranmei was like, oh, I've seen that before. That's not okay. Marcus,
a
what
lot
did
of dirt. Don't like that.
That was a 15.
you notice?
Sand.
Almost like a mirage on a wasteland desert. You see what appears to be just a large pack of the ground moving and shaking. Before you realize that those are creatures, numbering in the thousands, as they just slowly waddle their way across the plain, and listening hard and just focusing on their direction miles off, you can hear a faint moaning coming.
Just like have everyone stop. Or like hold my hand up.
And Lulu like
just
notices
wait
after
and
like a
listen.
couple of feet that people aren't following her anymore. She goes, she like turns and look around, like, what's wrong?
Did you hear that? Out there in the distance.
I'm actually gonna roll perception for her to try, and with advantage because you're telling her to look for some or listen for something. She's gonna succeed on that really well. Yes, though it doesn't seem to be heading in our direction. I couldn't tell you what it is, but it is definitely not good. We must press on.
Yes.
So, Drifter,
Let's try to
are you
avoid
feeling
whatever
alright?
those are.
Mark, who here studied Devils? I know some people studied Avernus. Tobias, Tessin.
Yeah, it was
Tessin.
Tobias.
I kinda did.
So I'm
but
gonna
it
have
was more related
Tobias.
to the shield.
Tobias,
No,
roll me
do
a
I
history
know
check,
devils?
please. Roll me a history check with disadvantage because of your exhaustion.
Heck.
Hackers. Hackers.
I think I have what, a +6, 7. Oh boy, that would be an 11.
You can surmise that whatever plagues this plane of existence, that this might be just another group of just
Oh wait, I'm
wandering
sorry,
devils.
I'm failing at math. That's a 13.
Okay. You know that there's large packs of wandering creatures of different types, enough to cause significant damage to the unwary, but you can't figure out if or what these things are. It's too far off for you to specifically determine which of just the roaming dangers that Avernus has this could possibly be.
Oh, great. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Noticing Drifter moving slower. Are you alright?
Just a bit tired.
Is it the dust, sand?
He doesn't
I'm
like
not
I
quite
did
sure
not
how
know that you were
you
physically capable of getting tired.
But should we get?
Is
are,
he
Are you,
is he immune to that? That's actually a fair point.
are you
I'm not
Are
sure.
you clogged
Yes,
with
that's right.
sand?
That's
He
actually a good
doesn't
point.
like sand. It's
We need
coarse,
to get the
rough,
dust out of his
everywhere.
fans.
That's a damn good point. I need to look into that actually.
What bothers Ranmei is literally the dirt and the dust, and he's like, huh. He doesn't understand how Warforged works, so he thinks you're just like paid down now.
Have I forgotten a very critical feature? I need to look into Warforged now.
I also don't
Google,
know how
can
Warforged
Warforged
works,
get
so it works.
an exhaustion
And I get
point?
exhaustion points, yeah.
He's running out of fuel.
He needs a new, whatever that is, a diamond or something.
That would
in
make
his
me so
chest.
sad if I've forgotten another thing that's just like...
I love how the first search query that comes up is, can Warforged get drunk?
Well, Red, what's the answer?
I didn't look it up. I can though.
No, everything I'm
will-
seeing in his racial and class features, he has advantage on poison and against poison. He's immune to disease. He doesn't need to breathe, sleep, or anything like that, and he's immune to being magically put to sleep. And he, much like an elf, he needs to remain inanimate for 6 hours instead of 4. But that counts as his sleeping. But nothing says he's immune to exhaustion.
Yeah,
Okay.
what I'm saying is you don't suffer exhaustion from sleeping, but you can suffer exhaustion from other things. So.
It's the sand. Anakin tried to warn us, it's the sand.
It's in his gears.
So as you guys
Warforged
travel
can get drunk.
another 2 miles, as you guys
Thank you,
guys
Donald.
travel another 2 miles, you guys see in front of you a hill several miles off, with what appears to be a low band of metal encircling it. You can assume that this is your destination, as it lies another 2 miles off. You are inspired by hope but desperation that it's taken you this long to get there. I need everyone to make me another Constitution saving throw.
I swear, the way you say these points of
Oh.
rolling
Ooh.
Constitution saving throws are like the save points in Undertale.
Oh.
That's
I
how
might-
you word the.
I might be inspired, so it doesn't matter. So we're gonna start with Marcus this time. Marcus.
Starting with me, math, it fails me at this current moment in time. So give me a second. 13.
You fail.
Fuck!
Hold up, wait, it's meter beat, you succeed, my bad.
Oh, thank Jesus fucking Christ!
I forgot the
Everyone
rules,
has
it's
to trudge
okay.
on.
Yeah, you continue to trudge on. Drifter. Nat 20.
Yeah, that's a net 20
Yeah,
plus 7.
You guys, yeah, you push on. You're still exhausted. You still move slowly, but moving slower seems to have affected you better, as it's not as wearing on you. But this is still a forced march, and the malevolence that this place just exudes is just weighing on you and your souls collectively. Tobias.
I would like to use my DM inspiration, bringing my dice roll up to a 13.
You barely succeed as well.
I know.
Ranmei.
Well, Inspired as I am by this lovely song, it makes it a 19 for me on the second.
You succeed, and Tessin.
So somehow good singer.
It's either a nat 20 or a nat
secret.
1 is what this is.
Another nat 1.
So Tessin,
Oh my god, child!
Tessin, have
I just shouldn't have shown up.
Tessin,
Dice away.
Find a Catholic priest and some holy water, girl.
I
Hey, you
shouldn't
can
have shown
find a
up.
priestess soon. I know one that would be lovely, plenty willing to help you out.
you suffer
You're
a second
AVERNUS.
level of exhaustion, having your speed as well. As now the two of you and Drifter, move very tired, move very sluggishly, as, strangely enough, Tessin, what affects you isn't just the forced march that this place is, but the heat, while beginning to affect you, almost like you begin to have an internal debate as you can feel whatever powers you've been utilizing as something is beginning to grab them, trying to work the powers, the strength that you have within to cast your magics. Something has begun to grab it, and it's beginning to compress it, tear it, twist it. And it just begins to slow you down as you're struggling internally to try to contain your power and keep it for yourself.
Listen.
As
That's
you guys are
amazing.
now 2 miles off. It takes you another hour to get there. And another Constitution saving throw.
I swear.
Can we just pick them up at this point?
Honestly, Tessin doesn't weigh shit. Can I
Listen, do
carry
not
Tessin?
one, I swear to God.
So,
Soon.
Tessin, what'd you get?
That's a 9.
Third level of exhaustion, as you now have disadvantage on attack
Tessin
rolls and
doesn't weigh
saving
shit.
throws.
I'm gonna carry Tessin.
You're already at the fort. This is
Oh.
after the saving throw has occurred. You guys are now a couple hundred feet off of the fort. As Tessin, whatever was trying to get a hold of your mind, your body, Gargouth enters your mind and he says, "Careful. This place, it tears at you. Your protection is not enough." As you feel your entire insides twist and churn in a desperate sense of just loss, as you are severely weakened, as something is beginning to genuinely start trying to grab a hold of you. It is malevolent and evil, and it is not pleasant.
Tessin just does that thing where you kind of like cross your arms, but like it's more of a wrap around his stomach.
Renmei,
Trying to
Not
hide
happy.
your
11.
stomach is
Or
so
You
wait,
good.
fail
no, I
as-
suck at math, that's a 12.
you still fail,
Great. I'm tired.
as you suffer your second level of exhaustion. Tobias,
Well,
you fail as well, suffering what, your third or fourth?
second.
Second, okay. You now have your speed halved as well, moving slowly with with half of your party now. Drifter,
That's a 14.
you barely succeed this time. Marcus,
Yeah, I'm trying to see a pattern where the DC is just going up by 1.
Marcus,
But also like to point
16.
out that
you've been a trucking soldier this entire time.
Soldier, keep on marching on!
Like this place, it's pervasive evil. The suffocating heat, this acrid stench of the sulfur eats at your lungs. But by God damn it, this place will not beat you.
Fuck you. It's at this point, Mark's just is the entire world the bird at the moment.
As such,
Lost
you have
him.
now completed your journey to the fort, and Lulu, getting very excited, begins to like run ahead before circling around the party, getting excited, urging you on. As you approach the gates to this place, I need to look up if there's any images I can share with you.
Lulu
Yay!
passed every one of her rolls. She's just a happy little.
Lulu is too
Lulu
happy to
pond.
get tired.
I have
Lulu
altered.
is a 2-year-old.
I have
They don't get
altered things
tired.
about her,
Marcus
so she's
has no
kind of.
song added to his playlist.
Blessed.
I will tell you this now. I have made Lulu immune to it because she's been to this place before, but she's also a celestial being. This place does not wear on her the same as it does you. So, as you approach, you are now within reaching distance of this fort, a jagged hill made of carved stones, and you hear the clanging and pounding of metal and smoke rising from within. As you approach what appears to be a barbed, thrown haphazard wall of iron that, while it appears flimsy, something about it suggests that assaulting this fort is an incredibly bad idea. And as you approach, I don't know if you can see it in the image, you see what appears to be a makeshift tower and gate, and small, like knee-height figures with red hats over their faces and on their heads dance around as you approach, singing to themselves in a language very few of you understand. I need to look up these creatures
Keep
real
walking,
quick.
but you will knock down our wall. Keep walking.
They're singing this as you're walking up, and it's a horrible, wretched sound. Like, it's coming from their throat. It's scarred, and it's like, it's not pleasant, but the song is, gotta give them that.
It's plain to see.
What languages? None of you can.
Is this a musical episode? What is happening?
None. So this is a very simple question. Who here speaks what languages do specifically the elves speak? Because I'm most interested in that.
Let's take a look-see.
Celestial.
Common,
Common,
Dwarvish,
Elvish.
Elvish, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
And if they have a swimming speed, telepathically.
They do not, which is unfortunate for all of you. The two elves, you speak Elvish. All of you, any of you who speak Elvish, this is incredibly reminiscent of Elvish, but it sounds like Latin to your ears. The core principles. This is almost above and beyond your skills to understand. And I'm checking.
Marcus is going to think very, very hard on how it is and unknowingly cast comprehend languages.
Okay. So you're like, damn it, I know what this is. Like, in your mind, you're like, this is Elvish, but it's not. And as soon as you do, remind me, what does comprehend languages do? Does it reveal to you the language, or does it simply enable?
You understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface of which the words are written.
Okay.
It takes a minute to read one page of text. The spell doesn't just decode secret messages in a text or glyph, or such as an arcane sigil.
I'm gonna say it
lasts an hour.
I'm gonna say if you roll me an intelligence check, it will also tell you what language what language they're speaking.
No, I don't know why, but these dice just want to get some very odd numbers today.
What'd you get?
Hold up, where the hell is intelligence? Because I'm a stupid. That's a +1, so that's 17.
This is the primordial language of the elves. They are speaking Sylvan. As the rest of you, as Marcus, you're like holding your head, like, what are they saying? As you guys walk up to the gate, you see a fortified compound sitting atop a low plateau, rising out of a crater-pocketed landscape. The center of this compound, a hill of rust-colored stones resembling a giant hand clawing free of the ground, with gaps between it, making it look like fingers. A jagged wall.
I just now noticed that in the freaking image, it does look like a fucking hand.
A jagged wall made of rock, bone, and metal debris. Metal debris surrounds this hand-shaped hill. Other highlights visible from this distance include a gatehouse, atop which stands a half a dozen small figures on watch, and they're dancing around, laughing, having fun to themselves. And as you approach, 6 of these creatures scatter to the wall and peer over the edge, and they're yelling at you. And then finally, one of them switches to common and goes, "What's the password?"
I'ma just yell out.
I just
and
look
say,
at Lulu.
Please.
He turns around and he goes, you hear muttering in Sylvan, and because you speak Sylvan, he goes, "Should I allow it?" "No." "Why not?" He said, "Please." "No, damn it." Turning around, "You're not allowed." Lulu goes, "I don't remember, although I'm gonna have, let me look something up for Lulu real quick as she tries to figure out who the hell these things are. Because she remembers the fort. So continue on with your role play while I look something up, because I can do 2 things at once. Yes.
And responding in Elvish, because that's the closest thing I got to Sylvan.
You can can you speak Sylvan with comprehend
no.
languages? Okay.
I can't speak, I just can understand it.
Okay.
It's very much like trying to... You can't speak Spanish, but you understand what they're saying.
Yeah. What do you say in Elvish to him then?
I'm gonna just say, "But I said please."
They turn around, you hear muttering in Sylvan again. "What did he say? I don't know." "Do you know what he said?" "No." "Stab him." "Why?" What'd you say? In common, just gets yelled over the edge of the wall.
I said pretty please in common.
He said pretty please. Now! Now!
With a cute elephant. Let me out here.
And then finally, like, these guards, they've been giggling to themselves the entire time before one of them just, like, loses it, and you watch as he, like, stumbles, like, almost falls off over the edge. He's, like, laughing his head off. He, like, doubles to the floor. You just hear an incredible amount of giggling and just gut laughter as finally one of them, like, stands up and, like, pokes his head over. He goes, "We don't have a password! The gate's open!" And you see as the gates begin to be rolled apart for you.
Oh, that was humiliating.
And as you pass in and underneath these giggling creatures, you can't tell what the hell is wrong with them. They're just laughing.
So, what's the joke?
You! And they just lose it even more.
See, directors are
Tobias
laughing
starts
at you.
cracking up too.
Speaking
But
in common now?
yes, they're
Or
speaking
they-
in common.
Okay.
As you enter, you see an area enclosed by the ramparts is littered with trash and mechanical components. You see some of them are put back together in a way that the same junk as the outer wall shelters, built of scrap. You see a platoon of small fey creatures milling about and atop the wall. All of them, like feral gnomes. Several of them sport tall red caps, some dripping with vile ichor. A pair of black bird-like men, Kenku, examine one of the strange vehicles that you see, chattering to each other in high-pitched squawks. They carry an assortment of strange tools, but when they see you, they stop and stare in wonder, and I'm going to pull up their image, because... because these are actually... No, that is not what I wanted. I want these guys.
Is it those boys?
Is it them?
It's them.
It's
As
those
they
boys!
crouching atop a war machine, they stop and immediately they turn to each other. They point and they're like, "Friend, friend, friend," and then they turn to you. And one of them, who, if I could figure out which, I actually need to figure out which one of these fuckers is who because I'm supposed to know
Which
this.
one is which?
Alright, I'll be right back. Idiot locked himself out of the house.
All right.
I have a question.
Give me just a second. Okay.
Are you a Chuka stan or a Clonk stan?
Chuka will.
I like
Okay.
clonk.
Okay, so Chuka is the one that I want here. Okay. I'm waiting for Noah to come back, but now I have who they are. Got it. This is why I'm really happy I have everybody present, because this whole place is gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh boy.
So as much as you hate it for your exhaustion points, this is gonna be fun. But waiting for... God damn it, why do you have to go?
I have a question.
What?
Does the hammer bring back any memories for Drifter?
What hammer?
That one first has. I don't know which one.
The one that the Kenku is holding?
Yes.
It looks like it belongs here in Avernus. It appears to be just a weapon of hell. Like, as strange as that is, the hammer visually is just not... It makes sense that it would be where it is because of how it simply looks. Waiting for... God damn it. Why did Marcus have to leave?
He's gonna lose it when he comes back and sees that on his screen.
Yeah. Here we are in Fort Knucklebone, guys.
By the way, could we roll some sort of check to try and identify the creatures that were up on the...
They're,
Outpost?
Yes. That would be... I'm gonna say it's a history check. To see if you've ever come across these creatures in your studies. Particularly, Tobias, but...
Yeah.
Tessin, if your background was anything but what it is, I would say you would have advantage, but you don't.
Yeah. What is it? Just in history?
Just a history check for me.
Actually 21.
Tobias?
11.
So, Tessin, strange as it is, these creatures, you like recognize them as small fey gnomes. These creatures in particular are redcaps and madcaps. Small fey creatures directly from the Feywild. And that is the homeland of these creatures, and typically the only place they're found. The fact that you're seeing creatures of the Feywild here,
In hell? Yeah.
something has happened to get these creatures here. You're just not
Please
sure
tell
what.
me they're not
Alright,
like
what I
the
missed?
birds from.
All right, you missed nothing other than
Wow.
Tessin figuring out what the hell the creatures were. And as you guys step in, the creature in the black bird in I'm gonna say he's like an ashen gray in a black robe, reaches down and grabs what appears to be like a silver pike. He like waves his hands at you to stay where you are, and he goes, "What a deal! Patience a virtue! Can't keep the boss waiting!" and runs off and towards one of the trash heap structures. Moments later, he returns, leading a tall creature wearing a long, tattered shift covered in mud, blood, and mold, and much, much worse. The hag's eyes seem to move independently of each other as she approaches you. Her straggly brown hair hanging down in front of her face, resting on each shoulder, are red-eyed ravens that scrutinize the group. Behind her, a hulking creature built of disparate, fiendish parts trudges and moaning and hopping as it walks. Both of the hag's eyes immediately focus on the group, and Lulu specifically. She goes, "My goodness! Where did you find such a treasure?" As spittle begins to drip from her lips, as she has just a deep grin smile. And because you rolled a 21, Tessin, you recognize this woman as a night hag immediately.
Just like the player recognized it immediately.
Like, step in front of Lulu a little bit.
Yike.
And she goes,
Like,
"Lulu,
casually
it
pushes
is so
behind
good to
you.
see you." And like Lulu is really confused, but like the small creature that went and fetched this woman comes running up, and Lulu like actually like avoids you guys to like get to this creature, and like Lulu like kind of like bumps into him as this creature starts petting her back fervently, like very excited to see her. This creature's like up to like half your guys' height, but for whatever reason, like he scares you. Like something
One of the
about him puts
bird
you
boys?
off. Yeah, he's the one wearing the gray cloak.
Okay. Chaka clunk, chaka clunk, chaka clunk, chaka clunk, chaka clunk.
This is the woman who has approached you, and the creature that's waddled up behind her.
That's not terrifying at all. Holy Jesus! Kill it with fire.
I'm
Kill it with fire. Alright,
no.
I can do that.
She goes, "Oh,
I'm
you
actually like, I'm just gonna stand here.
you poor dear children. Oh, come, take rest. Come, we have much to discuss. Lulu, it
I'm
is so
just
good to see
looking
you
at Chaka
again."
and Clunk. That's a lot better image to look at. Jesus Christ.
As she
Really, yeah. Thank you for your hospitality. It's been a journey, but you know we're kind of on a time crunch. We probably should and I'm just center to the group and like gesture like let's go, let's get the out.
Lulu goes, "No, this is the first step to finding the sword of Zario. I can't remember where it is, but I know that this place can help." And at that, like, you know, because she's speaking out loud,
Really sure.
she's speaking. She's speaking telepathically, but she appears to have included these two kenku and the woman in this.
Chaka clunk,
As
chaka clunk, chaka
she
clunk.
goes, "I can help you with that. I have just the thing to recover lost memories. It's a simple ritual. It will not take me long to set up, but I can recover your memories." And Lulu goes, "Would you?" She goes, Of course, dear. It would be my pleasure."
Lulu is very impressionable, but I'm gonna just keep my eye on these folk.
No, Lulu, there are other ways to lift such a spell. I'm sure.
Do I recognize the night hag as a night hag?
I will say yes. You were able to recognize the night hag, but not the other creatures.
Okay.
Chaka clunk, chaka clunk,
She
chaka
goes,
clunk, chaka
"Well, I would ask that you at least stay. I can offer you provisions at the very least in exchange for letting me help her. I'm sure that would help young brave adventurers such as you."
Oh, you're too kind, ma'am. But you know, Lulu is a good friend of ours, and
And she's a good friend of mine.
Great, but what exactly? Forgive my suspicion. You understand we are in Avernus.
I'm gonna
after
have you
all.
roll
What
insight.
exactly do you get out of helping us?
Well, a lot actually. It'd be a lot easier if you would come inside and discuss this with me.
Remember, okay, I know it was my brother last time, guys, but I just want to point out what happened last time. We just went inside with someone.
How do you
No, at
know?
that remark,
Lulu
you
in the
just get
first place?
eyeballed by Marcus. That's all that happens.
Hold up. That
Just
is
like
something I need to reread.
remember a certain someone. Like that is the expression on his face.
Okay, my cat is
Eyeballing randomly.
my cat is
Just
losing her shit.
180
Hold up, my
my
cat is
back
losing her shit.
Marcus.
My cat is actively losing her shit at me. Are you happy now, you brat?
Well, I'm sure there's
Okay.
other solutions.
Okay. I forget why she knows her.
What?
Okay. Okay, so I'm changing something unintentionally. Good to know. She goes, I found Lulu. I found Lulu wandering the plain,
Kitty
dazed
Zoo
and
back
exhausted. She wandered off before we could do much to help her, and I haven't seen her for many years. But now she's here.
What is the cat doing?
Whatever the hell she wants. She's currently
She's
investigating my
zooming.
closet.
She's zooming.
She's losing her shit.
Damn, what'd you put in her food last time?
Can I insight check the night hag?
Go ahead.
Yeah, insight at least for that comment.
Only a little exhausted, don't worry.
Maybe with all of our exhaustion rolls, one of us will be able to roll
I rolled
decent.
the exact same thing, it doesn't matter. Alright, that's a 23.
She's lying about how she knows Lulu, but she is telling the truth. For the most part. The
Yeah, I
only
rolled
thing.
a 7, so I probably don't.
Yeah,
know.
no. You believe
You're
that
too
she's telling the
tired.
truth.
I give her a smile and say, well, I guess it couldn't hurt to stay for a moment. Let me, if you could, give me just a moment to talk to my friends here. It's been quite a journey.
And Lulu is still there with the Kenku, and the Kenku are like losing it.
Like, yay! Our long lost pet has returned.
Actually, they're treating him more like a friend
moment.
than anything.
Yeah, don't you treat your pets like your friends?
Lulu, get in the huddle.
Lulu is currently not telepathically connected to any of you. She is actively, apparently in conversation with these creatures.
Alright.
The two Kenku.
So I'm just kind of like pull the rest of the group a little bit away from the night hag and football huddle up.
Alright.
Okay, do we trust this?
To an
Do
extent.
we go with
To an
her?
extent.
And
I don't see why
I
not.
cringe away from the larger creature beside her.
That thing is horrifying.
I mean, Lulu is a good being. If she trusts them, and we trust her.
Yes, but
I-
from my
well.
understanding, Lulu doesn't have much of her memory. She can't even trust herself.
She hasn't led us astray yet.
I don't see a reason to distrust this hag for.
Raymond just kind of sighs and says, "Fine," but I intend to keep my guard up at least.
So,
Lily won't be alone in that endeavor. I break out from the group and start walking.
Okay, you walk up. Okay, she goes, so have you reached a verdict?
Yeah, we'll stay. For now.
Wonderful. I will begin setting up the ritual to recover her memories. This will take me some time. I will be back shortly. For now, enjoy my holdings. And she turns around and she walks back, and you see this large thing doesn't actually follow her. It just kind of like starts walking around, and it like looks at you guys inquisitively before kind of just turning and like just wandering around. Before you see a bunch of these
The second it turns
evil
around,
gnomes, these wretched things, like start chasing him around, and doing a strange dance around him, almost like they're mocking him, but kind of just following along with him.
Odd.
And he seems incredibly like upset about it, and like something's genuinely bothering him. And on that note, actually, that gives me a good roll me insight on this creature, Ranmei. You're just like something is off about him more than just its construction.
He's being
That is the
bullied.
second time in a roll that I've rolled the exact same number with disadvantage. Alright, that's a 24 this time.
You make the check. Something about his stride is off. It's not that he's built incorrectly as a creature. No, something is causing him pain. Something is hurting him, preventing him from walking straight, causing him to hobble and moan like he is. If you wish, you can try to walk up to him and try to assist him.
Alright. Seeing this and seeing that it doesn't have any particularly ill will, since it seems to be the day of making questionable decisions, I'm going to kind of walk up and shoo off some of the small gnomes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you roll intimidation to get them to go away.
This is where a certain dragon boy I know and love would go
Intimidation?
really well, and it is not Zerf.
15?
What'd you say, 16 or 15?
15.
Works. The madcaps, these fake evil creatures, these gnomes. I'm really upset because now I've said their name to one person. Now I'm gonna say their name to everybody. They scatter and they go about their business, and you see as several of them run off to the other side of the like a small area they've marked out, and you see them sitting on what appears to be just scrap they've hobbled together, and you hear one of them yell, "Play ball!" as you watch as a head of a devil gets launched from somewhere in the fort onto this what appears to be a court as these gnomes just blitz it and try to grab it first, and it's like a hybrid of soccer football. It's like a hybrid soccer football rugby as they're running back and forth. Just you see like fights just break out constantly between them as they start slugging each other, but they're all focused on the head of this devil, trying to get it to one end or the other, but it's really not making it to one end or the other. It's constantly going back and forth, getting thrown, spewing ichor everywhere. It's an awful sight. Roll me medicine on the creatures if you want to try to help him.
Yeah, so I kind of, as I shoot them off, I kind of look up at him, and it's...
He is chiropractor or whatever. Hail.
Alright, roll chiropractor. Okay, with disadvantage, that's gonna be a 21.
Okay. As you approach him, showing him you mean him no harm, he realizes like you're trying to help him, and you're gesturing.
Try saying hello in a couple different languages.
All right.
Immediately the ones that I know.
I gotta look up what the language. You know what? What's the damn languages of a night hag? God damn it. What do you start with?
Be right back.
Fuck off, Donald. Hang on. Got Missile, Celeste. Or I'm gonna start with Infernal, because that seems to work the best down here.
As you begin to speak in Infernal, he actually reacts to your voice as if he can understand you. What do you say to him?
I say, hello, and seeing him actually respond, I say, "Are you all right?"
He makes like he makes a moaning sound as he tries to lift his foot up and like try to show you, and looking at it especially with that medicine check, you see a fragment of bone lodged in his foot.
Ow.
Alright.
And as you see as he like kind of like sets himself down, lifting his foot in front of you, as he clearly wants you to remove it. And because you've already made the roll, walking up, you just gently like
stepped on a metal D4.
Yeah, you kind of basically, you managed to just ever so gently pry this fragment from his foot without causing much pain to him. And he, sets his foot down, and he like realizes it doesn't hurt to walk anymore, as no blood comes from his foot. But he like stands up and he starts walking around, and he's like incredibly happy. Like this creature, childlike in its demeanor, is incredibly thrilled with what you've just done. And then several of these evil gnomes notice what you've done. They start screaming, "Why? Why did you do that? Ah! We can't do the Mickey!" And they start like getting pissed. Like whatever the Mickey is, they can't do it
We
anymore,
can't
and they're
do the
pissed.
Mickey. I feel like that's some crazy, like, what is it called? Oh, freaking
I
frat party.
completely ignore
a bully
the
thing
shrieking
they
As
do.
the
and
creature gets
kind
up in
of-
it, you
kind of
watch
follow
as
the larger one.
he actually starts making a beeline for where the hag went. It just his entire demeanor, his posture, the way he's moving, he's incredibly happy. He's pain free now. He doesn't suffer as he walks.
Aw.
So
Creepy
while you
abomination
were
will
doing
remember this.
that, while you were occupied, Ranmei, what were the rest of you doing? You see, the two Kenku go back to working on this infernal machine, and they appear to be very frustrated by it. Looking at them, you see, one is bigger and stronger, the other more animated and irritable, as they continue to try to work on this machine.
Clunk, chugga clunk, chugga clunk.
And you see them angrily hammering on a piece of this machinery. And you see that like they're very puzzled. So what are the rest of you doing?
Machinery?
Yep.
Oh
It's almost like it's calling to you, Donald. It's your lot in life.
no, that's just Drifter.
You fixed Drifter, and now you can fix whatever the these two can do.
What events have transpired? Oh my goodness. All I did was go pee.
That is a good point, actually. Do Chuka and Clonk react to Drifter at all?
As far as you guys realize, you're the only people who know he's a construct because of the full nature of his plate armor.
Right,
you can't
he's
actually
got
see
the
him.
Armor on. I keep forgetting.
We're the only ones who know. Other than
No.
that, we just have a strange infernal armor that walks around with us.
And
Fair
you
enough,
see
that's
you
called
see
Fullmetal Alchemist, but okay.
the other key thing that the rest of you note besides from Ranmei is the two ravens, the blood red ravens, that were with the hag. By the way, Goose, ooh, he's pissed. He's staring at these things. He's making hissing and growling sounds as these two ravens sit up on a piece of scrap metal hut a good distance off watching.
They're actually imps.
So what are you guys doing? Those are just the things that the group actively notice aside from Ranmei, who is currently busy. This is happening at the same time.
Holding Goose close, calming him, whispering in his ear, soon.
Sweet nothings into the cat's ear.
Soon.
Soon you
One
can get
day.
your revenge.
Yes.
Someone say soon.
So, God
And
dang.
very
All right, what are you guys doing? Who's going where? Who's investigating what? Who's walking around the fort? Who's going to help these things? What's going on here?
I'm gonna just explore this fort.
Okay,
while
So
we're
Marcus is
I'll
exploring.
just tail Marcus.
You're exploring as well. You're tailing
I'll
Marcus.
go to the
Walk.
machine, I
Slowly.
guess.
Okay, Tobias, you walk up to the machinery. Drifter, what do you do?
here. Hands in your pocket.
I make a motion as if I'm putting my hands in my pocket, and then just sit there.
Okay, all right, Tobias, we're gonna start with you because I'm gonna have their thing happen here in a second. Walking up, you see that these Kenku are like literally smacking what appears to be a spiky gear, like in the piece of this machinery, and they can't figure out what the problem is. It seems they're angrily hammering it and making aggressive cawing sounds at each other. By the way, Renmei, that whole thing took you about 20 minutes, just trying to get them to go away, like walking up to him, getting him to sit down, and like taking that out.
Figured.
Remove the Lego from his foot.
Alright, I'm gonna talk to the bird.
So you walk up.
Hey, what's the problem here?
I have to think of what these things would say.
Chaka clunk, chaka clunk, chaka clunk, chaka clunk.
Mental break. No work. And they seem frustrated and they go, flaw and flow. No turn.
No turn.
Just very
Keep it
simplistic.
turn.
I'm gonna whichever you're more comfortable with, as you sense almost power rating from this, you can do an Arcana or Investigation check, as you're gonna spend the next 10 minutes if you wish to help investigating this part.
I'm gonna go
And
with
who is this?
Tobias.
investigation.
go nailed.
Tobias, and I struggle with what Kenku say. Like, I really do. Like, they're hard for me.
It's hard to not make a full sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Heck.
What'd you get?
12.
Actually, it's enough. As you spend the next 10 minutes, you've realized that this gear has become corrupted. Demonic essence has managed to work its way into this gear. And you realize, as being a wizard and the way you've studied magics, there are 2 spells that would be good for actually fixing this. You could either cast Dispel Magic or Protection from Evil or Good on this gear. Or you could try to figure something else, as you are rather inventive yourself, to try to purge this gear and make it usable for these creatures.
Purge the gear.
Bathe it in
I
holy
don't
water.
have any of those spells. Do I still have a flask of that water, of that holy water?
If you didn't use it, yes.
I don't remember using it.
The
Checking.
your
You have
Tessin
an
and
alchemy
Ranmei
jar
might
for it,
possess
if you
one of these 2
remember.
spells if necessary. You think?
Come again? Guys?
You also might realize that your warlock or the cleric, Tessin or Ranmei, might have one of these 2 spells. It wouldn't
That is
hurt
true,
to
but-
ask.
Didn't they both wander off?
Currently, looking around, you see Ranmei is occupied with this giant amalgamation of parts, and Tessin and Marcus are nowhere to be seen. Drifter is like pantomiming, putting his hand like a stance with his hands in his pocket, and is literally just standing there. These gremlin gnome-like creatures like walk up to him, poke at him. As soon as they get no response, like they try to like throw sand in his face, get sticks and other bits of metal in his joints, but to no avail, no reaction. They eventually get bored and have wandered off to find something else to play with and break.
I'm gonna walk over to Ranmei. Ranmei, when you're done with that, could you take a look over here? There's something I think you might be able to help me with.
At this point, you just finished shooing off the creatures.
Oh, and yes, at this point, I would like to just start staring at Chukka and Clonk.
You don't know that that's their names, but you start staring the Kenku down.
Well, yeah.
Yes, let me. I believe this oddity is injured. I was going to see if I could help him out. I'll be over in just a second, Tobias. And I kind of, as I say your name, I kind of pause and jerk a little, and then just look very sad and kind of shake it off, and turn back to this.
Too close.
And turn back to this medicine. And turn back to my medicine check.
I'm going to now move on to Tessin and Tobias. As
Tobias?
this is happening. Or Tessin and Marcus, my bad. You guys wandering the fort, you watch as these 2 ravens.
Also have like a general perception to make sure none of
Yes.
these little shits try to pick my pocket.
Actually, that's pretty smart. Go ahead.
Yes. Because that's the vibe I get out of these little assholes. That's a 16.
I need to look up if I can present you an image of these things. Alright, that's a standing perception check for awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting.
Ooh, I do have images. Okay. So
Ooh,
this
yippee-ki-yay.
is the 2 creatures.
Why am I not surprised?
These are the 2 types of creatures that you guys are just seeing everywhere.
Annoyance.
I'm enjoying your reactions more than anything else, Noah. Alright, so, is Tessin preoccupied? Tessin is preoccupied.
Sorry, apparently LA County just put in a 6 o'clock curfew time, and our game ends at 6:30, and we're still in LA County.
Yeah.
What do you mean 6
So-
o'clock curfew?
You can't be out after 6 o'clock.
The
Oh,
protests and stuff. Ouch.
Yep.
And Donald, he doesn't live in LA County, but
But-
he has to get out of LA County,
Yeah.
and our game ends at 6:30. So we're trying to figure that out.
Pause, let Donald get home, pick it up.
well,
Yeah.
Donald, real quick, Donald, I can help facilitate this while keeping the game going to an extent and ending earlier if necessary. How long does it take for you to get from Lizzie's house to your house?
Approximately 30 minutes.
Okay, we shall see where we are by 5:30, if we're at a good stopping point.
That works.
So, Tessin and Tobias, or Tessin and Marcus, I keep you guys in the same room, it's fine.
Funny, probably couldn't stop accidentally calling me Marcus. Now you can't accidentally stop calling me Tobias.
It's
You
the double
see-
T's.
Wandering around this compound, just following its exterior and trying to avoid these creatures, you notice two specific things. You see what appears to be a floating flaming skull, almost muttering to itself, following around at a distance and like hiding from a group of these creatures, Tessin, hiding from a group of madcaps. Though you also see from a distance, the two ravens have been following you, almost as if they want something. You're muted.
Following us too specifically?
Yes.
Is there like a alley we can duck into and wait for him to around the corner too?
There's no real
It's
corner street to
pretty
duck
open.
around. There's no alleyways. It's just piles of garbage everywhere.
Like, you know what I mean, like an alleyway of junk.
Again, there's no such thing. It's just a field littered with piles every so often. There's no place to really hide.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, not madcaps, red caps.
Yeah, the red caps, those are freaking and something that will bully you to no extent. Those things will eat the red mad caps. That seems like something that will eat your soul in a horror movie.
They're
Tell
both
me I'm
very puntable.
Fucking wrong.
They are
Oh
both
yes,
very
I want to
puntable.
punch. I want to freaking Charlie Brown him.
Well, guess
I can't
what?
get the football, yoink!
Guess what, Marcus? You might get your dream depending on... Both of these lead to might possibly lead to such a confrontation. Where you get to punt a madcap, or a red cap.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just kind of stop, look dejected for a second, and then look up at the crows, and just go. And I'm still like, just going like this the entire time, just clenching my stomach. Go, what do you want?
The two
And just kinda
ravens...
sigh.
The two ravens kind of like turn to each other.
Goose is aggressively.
The two ravens like turn to each other before like coming down to join you guys, and Goose is like getting aggressively hostile, and the two ravens like hop back like very concerned and afraid. But they go, "Should we tell her? Should we tell him? I don't know. Should we tell them? It's kind of important."
In common?
Yes, they're saying this
And if
in
not, I can
common.
understand anything they say for an entire hour.
And finally,
You're
one.
pissing off our cat. Speak up.
We wanted to warn you. One of the red caps wants to kill your celestial friend.
I'm gonna look at Marcus. The elephant thing.
Yes.
Which one?
We can point him out to you. His name is Wazik.
Point him out.
He's and you see he is active. He's actually one of the.
Can I roll insight on them?
Go ahead.
I need a new D20. Hold on.
You know, can I as well? I don't trust anything.
Go ahead, roll insight.
Anything.
I'm just any possible threat to Lulu. I am going to take very seriously. She is the president here.
These are ravens. I'm used to running curses drawn. They're ravens.
They're shapeshifted as ravens currently.
Oh yes, and I know a goose gets pissed off as I know what
17.
they are.
Okay, Marcus.
18.
They're lying through their teeth. They're lying as to why they want this or they're trying to warn you about this madcap or this red cap. But they're lying that he's planning to kill Lulu, but they apparently don't like him and they want him dead, and they see an opportunity through you.
Here, come close.
And they just stay there. They're you have the
cat
bird.
won't do nothing. The cat won't do nothing. Here, Tess, hold him.
I'll just grab Goose, kind of.
A goose just like a cat dislikes being transferred in midair. It's like
Just like, I just kind of whispered to him, please don't struggle.
as Marcus, you
Go.
walk up to the ravens and they kind of like crowd closer to you.
Come on.
So they're still on their perch. They're not leaving their perch, which is a little bit above your head, but you still can get pretty close to them.
All right, I'm gonna just get closer to him. Why do you really want him gone?
They look at each other. They look at you and they realize you know they're lying. So one of them goes, "Maggie told us not to mess with him. And we did. and now we think he's gonna kill us. If you kill him, we'll tell Maggie you did a good thing. She'll appreciate you helping us.
Insight on that.
All right.
That's another 18, exact same
They're
roll.
actually telling the truth. They're telling the truth. That if you kill this red cap, they will put in a good word with Maggie for you. And Maggie, you assume, is the night hag.
Point him out and we'll think about it.
Wazik will be alone shortly. He likes to watch the games, but then he kind of goes and just, like, sits by himself because he can't play anymore. Yeah, they broke his legs. Pretty bad.
You're bullying an
Sorry,
old
it's a madcap,
disabled
not a red
man.
cat. It's a madcap.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
It's better to do it when no one's looking. Yeah, because we can cover for you, but not if others see you.
Point him out, we'll think about it.
And they point out to a madcap that you see, like, he has, unlike the other madcaps, his cap appears to have been freshly drenched in whatever they dip it in, and is just dripping profusely everywhere he goes. And every time he turns his head and cheers, this stuff goes everywhere. But unlike the other madcaps, you see his arms are of a slightly palish purple color compared to the rest of them. And you see
He
his
stands out
legs.
like a sore thumb.
His legs are genuinely misshapen.
We'll think about it. Now stop following us.
Okay. And they just, like, fly off.
I immediately let go of Goose. Don't have the energy for that.
Fucking imps.
Is it actually worth it to try and kill this thing if we get
They're
spotted?
genuinely honest if they think that they can put in a good word with us, that hag. Real question is, do we want to?
Do we even need the good word?
I really
Is it
doubt
also-
We have Lulu here. She seems to like Lulu.
Is it also worth being caught? Possibly.
Well, I say he likes to be on his own after they do whatever games they do with that head they're throwing around.
And what about the body?
Personally, I really couldn't care less.
Tessin, with your 21, you realize that with the relationship between the creatures of the Fey Wild, a dead madcap is a dead madcap. They probably really wouldn't care. It's just you don't want to be seen being the one killing him.
Okay. It wouldn't really hurt us to do it if we're not seen.
So long as keep it quiet, keep it clean, and then we're out.
We have to be 100% certain we're not seen or it is not worth it. Don't
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
And you, as you say this, you watch as this madcap, Marcus, he's been pointed out to you several times in particular, begins to like
one.
walkingly waddle because his legs, they still work, but they didn't get fixed properly. As he begins to waddle his way towards like the back end of the fortress.
So do we want to?
I don't see why not.
Roll in stealth.
Okay.
Ditto. Oh?
29.
Rolled high.
29 stealth, 25 stealth. Cool. I'm gonna get back to you two chasing down the madcap. As I'm gonna go back to Tobias and Ranmei. Ranmei, you have finished, and Tobias, you've been standing there trying to find other ways to help them fix this gear.
Alright, waving off the big guy as I see him kind of jaunt back towards the hag. I look around and try to find Donald.
He is over with the Kenku and Lulu, and they are currently at this moment all clustered around the back end of this machine.
Ignoring the screeching gnome creatures, I just beeline over there.
Coming over there, you see them clustered around a specific component, like a section of the machinery. And the Kenku are still pointing at it. They're trying to work with you, Tobias. Do you still have that flask of holy water?
I never had one. It
Okay.
was in the jug.
I have a big fat alchemy
Okay.
jug full of
Um,
holy water.
as you see, like
I
they're
remember
trying to
dunking on Tessin and then refilling.
as they're trying to like figure out what the heck is wrong with whatever this is. Like you were called over here for a reason. You're not sure quite what though.
As I walk up, I kind of clear my throat, and I start to say so, and then I stop, and then I say, Lulu, friends, is there something I can help you with? Sorry, that took a little longer than I thought.
It's okay. Do you have anything that might be able to fix this here?
I'm gonna have you roll
I'm
Arcana
not much of a mechanic, but let me see what I can do.
as you begin to sense the power from this component.
17.
You realize that would you have magic that could dispel other forms of magics? You could actually remove the demonic corruption that resides within it.
Like, say, dispel magic.
Exactly, dispel magic or protection from evil or good.
I have one of those.
Ain't better than none.
Both will work.
Alright, so I say, yes, I could probably handle this. Step back, would you?
And the Kenku like step back, but they kind of like keep watching. Clearly, this is their project. They're not about to let just anybody like do something without their supervision.
I cast dispel magic.
As you do, the magic surges forth, wrapping around and pulls the demonic essence from this gear. And as soon as it happens, you watch as this dark, like black mist is pulled forth. It swirls upon itself and poofs out of existence, and all of a sudden, just you hear the grinding of gears as all of a sudden the machine begins to turn itself to life as you watch as the gear starts spinning faster and faster and faster within its housing, and as the machinery around it begins to come to life, the Kenku like, yeah, just like they just let out a cry of victory as it's been fixed, and they turn to you like they like try to shake your. They should like shake your hand for doing that, and like they shake your hand as well, Tobias, for finding someone who could help them fix this.
I have no idea how close I was to switching that spell out when we had a long rest. It was between that and one other one, and I picked the other one.
Freaking deities. He's intervening. There you go.
So,
Divine intervention.
just what does the machine?
They are working on a grinder. I need to look up what is the grinder.
Grind the
So
bones to
this
dust.
machine that they've been working on, it is gargantuan in size. It dominates most of the left side of the yard of the fort.
Oh, so they're building Jaegers. I get it.
Significantly bigger than the creature that you found, which was classified as huge. Let me actually show you if I can bring up an image on here. I, in fact, can.
Let's just be honest. They're building Gypsy Danger, isn't it? Aren't they?
This is this machine sits. You see. Let me see. Yeah, it's yeah, it's this is what it looks like. It is gargantuan in size, and you managed to help them fix a component that you see as they begin to lift into the back end of this machine, presumably where the engine resides.
Well, what you're saying, Gus, is Avernus is just Mad Max.
Yes, you have entered the Mad Max stage of Avernus.
Yay! Those are good movies. Can't change my mind.
And now we're in them.
So,
That thing we just helped fix.
Strangely, Marcus unintentionally fits quite well.
so going back to Tobias and Marcus, as you guys watch, as suddenly you hear the roar of just energy and just a loud rush of sound, as you see like this green flaming skull like looks up, wearing like a small like old army soldier helmet like off to the side of his head, and he watches this skull just zooms towards the sound. And you watch as the madcap Wazik picks up a stone and like hucks it with all his might at the back of the skull of this thing, and it just bounces off the helmet. The skull turns around and like and like just continues on.
All right, we're going to make our way
As he
up
continues.
and behind this thing.
Okay. So you guys traveling
That
along,
is a very stabbable face.
you guys traveling along, moving quietly, quickly with your 25 and 26 stealths respectively. Moving along behind this creature, you see as he comes to what looks to be a couple of wooden shacks. And this large stinking pit in the ground, and you watch as he walks up, like messes with like his shirt for a moment, and you just hear the trickle of water hitting sludge.
Ugh. He's like face over a pit right now.
Both of you as male characters recognize that he's taking a leak into a refuse pit.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say he is in perfect position for everyone's cheeky kill that they like to put in stealth games. Kill the poor dude who's just trying to casually take a piss. Alright, using his own piss as to mask the footsteps, I'm gonna walk up and he gets stabbed.
Alright, roll to hit.
I'll follow behind him to see if he doesn't kill him.
Okay.
I'll make a strike.
You guys looking around with your passive
just write
perceptions, this area is kind of obscured because the stench is just horrid. Mixing with the sulfur and like just waste matter, it sucks. So the madcaps and redcaps kind of just ignore this area as much as possible. That's why it's kind of off in a far excluded corner. So currently nobody's kind of really around, and the doors to these wooden shacks kind of like hang open, revealing no one inside.
I think I freaking also unintentionally rolled to convince my die to give me a nat 20 on that.
Cool, I gotta go look up the madcap redcap stat block. Give me just a second. I forgot where their stat block is.
And I'll just hold my packed weapon for if you don't finish the kill, I will.
Drifter pulls out. Wait, no.
You're not
This
there.
is a red cap.
I swear, if you're gonna pull out a hand axe.
I just realized too, Drifter was looking at them. So we just watched them follow you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be entertaining. Alright, what's your to hit?
It's a nat 20 plus 9.
Nat 20 to hit with the sneak attack, so roll full damage. Any null die number gets doubled. What are you hitting with? You're hitting with the short sword? Or the rapier?
Use this +2 dagger.
Or yeah, the +2 dagger, okay.
Magic +2 dagger. I'm being certain. Alright. So, Gus,
Mm-hmm.
how does 36 sound?
He's still alive, but barely. As you take the dagger and you plunge it deep into his
Second
back,
stab.
he stutters for a second and like tries to like as you force the air with the raw strength of the hit.
Second stab with the rapier.
Roll damage.
That's a 14 plus 7 to hit.
Okay, he had 9 HP after your first strike.
Okay.
As you plunge as you take the rapier and you impale him on it, the creature like looks down and like tries to grab at it, stuttering as you've impaled on his chest. And as his hateful existence comes to an end, the most spectacular death you've ever seen is his body literally spontaneously combusts, erupting into flames. And in moments, his entire body, including his ichor-soaked hat, is consumed, leaving only his sickle and smoldering, ash-filled iron boots behind.
And now I'm gonna just...
Apparently,
that
we don't
shit
need to
into
deal
the
with the
hole.
body.
No, but I will deal with these boots and kick them into the hole.
You stub your toe. These are iron shot. These are not iron shot. These are iron
Kick 'em, more of
boots.
like a push with the bottom of my foot.
But they still go in, and you hear a heavy as the boots just sink straight to the bottom.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. It reeks to high heaven.
Going back to Drifter, Ranmei, and Tobias. Those of you in the same area, this creature you see this flaming skull come like zooming up to all of you. And he like looks around and he sees you, Ranmei, and he sees like you in the act of helping, and he flies up, and as he does, you see multiple of these red and madcaps pick up stones and they're throwing them at him as hard as they possibly can. A couple hit, and he gets over to you and he goes, I need your help. You've been helping everybody else. I need your help.
Oh no.
This is side quest
Pardon?
central.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pardon. Who or what? Who are you?
Forgive me. My name is Barnabas.
Fucking Barnabas.
Trustworthy name, I guess.
X.
Yeah. Barnabas,
Ooh.
the.
I was once a powerful wizard, but now I'm merely a flame skull. That's not the problem. And as he's saying this, like he's whistling a small bit, and you notice that one of the skull's teeth is missing. He goes, "That's besides the point."
Because all you want for Christmas is his
just
two front teeth.
frighteningly glancing over my shoulder at Tobias this entire time.
He looks at you and he goes, "I need your help. One of my teeth was stolen. The red caps. One of the red caps has it. I know who has it. No, I don't. I know who took it."
Why are you looking at me?
Why is this place just built for Marcus and Tessin right now?
Yeah, that
Drifter
sounds
is like time to
like a
intimidate him.
real problem.
Murder,
and,
pickpocketing.
Just walks
you
up
know
and
which
T-poses on a
one
red cap.
has it right now? Know where it's at? Do you?
I don't know who has it. I know who took it. You can start with him though.
I kind of glance. I look over. I continue glancing at Tobias, like.
What are you
What?
looking at me for?
Oh boy. Do you know anything about fighting slow ghosts? The smart one.
No.
All she hears is wizard and thinks, oh yeah, all wizards are connected, right? They all know each other.
That'll be
They all went
fine.
to the same
Look,
school.
this thing is dead. This is the exact opposite of my specialty.
Well, Drifter's not living, so I mean,
Oh wait, maybe I can look him up.
he's unalive.
Nah, he's just a
But he
flame
isn't
skull.
dead.
Alright, well, it's
That's just the basic
great.
flame skull image that's out of the book, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't like that.
Drifter doesn't like it just because it has fire.
Yeah,
There's too many NPC pictures to keep track.
they're around. Boy, well,
I'm freaking layering them.
maybe I could have a talk with the gnome or something if you know which one it is.
I can start you. I can start you off. And he says to look for, and he actually points out a red cap. I think that's Grubba, but they all kind of look the same to me. It's
Fucking
kind of
racist.
hard for me to tell. But yeah, go start with Grubba.
We'll do. No promises, but if I come across any teeth, you'll be the first to hear about it.
It's his favorite tooth.
Okay, what you doing?
Does he like just hover there?
No, he actually like takes off away from you guys. He doesn't want to be seen with you anymore.
Oh man, my God, what was that thing? I mean, it seemed demanding. First of all,
Who are you talking to?
trying to talk to my wizard friend.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Tooth. We're supposed to be looking for a tooth, right? Why don't we go get on that so this thing leaves us alone? And I'm just gonna grab Tobias by the sleeve and physically drag him with me. You're coming with me.
All right.
All right.
It's
On
probably
that
not that
note-
hard of a tug with the exhaustion point, and it's not that
Yeah.
much of a resistance with that tug too.
On that note,
Yeah, you
unfortunately,
kind of
I
like.
think I need to start heading home.
All right.
Yeah.
This is a
Don't
good
wanna
stopping
cut it too
point,
close.
but this is a good place to I'll end this encounter, and then if you guys want, we can continue on, or we can close off. It's up to you guys.
We can continue when I get home, or we can not. It's either way is fine with me.
So there's actually a couple more. This encounter is the longest of the encounters. Before the dream ritual occurs when Maggie comes back to collect you. So this can take a little while. So I
We
will
could
say
just take a break until Donald gets home.
I
Yeah,
was
just
gonna say let's
set up
take
a
a
break.
break, and
Yeah.
we'll pick back up in 12 minutes. So at 5:30 we'll pick back up at 5:30. If you're not back by then, this encounter can go on without you, and you won't miss a whole lot with this.
All right.
So
I'll probably if I left in within the next 5 minutes or so, I'd be home and almost.
okay. Yeah, this is a good place to take a break. So we're gonna do that. I will be right back because I'm gonna go get something to drink.
And roll.
And you, the stream, you get to enjoy Spotify. I've not been using ambiance, but I kind of really should have been. You guys get to just listen to this on full blast as I go. Hee 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 hee.
So many freaking history tests in high school. He is back.
Welcome back. Please. What are you streaming?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
D&D.
Where?
Let's see that.
Let's see.
Let's see
You've
this
been
Twitch
streaming
stream.
us? Oh no.
Oh.
This is chaotic.
It
Yeah.
shows. It
Okay,
shows that only.
What?
To me, it shows that only 3 people are watching.
I can't meme if we're on Twitch, Gus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta click on users.
Oh wait,
chat
Sweat's
and it'll
live.
show.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
As long as they enjoy, I guess. Watching us be stupid in hell. But
Let's hold up.
I mean,
Yeah, you're his stalker. You
You
can
have a
check his phone.
tracking device on your boyfriend?
yes, and it's
No, I
terrifying.
have- okay.
No, don't deny it.
had-
Yes, you do.
No, not on just him though. That sounds worse. It was my family does a Life 360. Which is an app that you can track people's phones and see their battery life, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that was funny actually.
Um,
They came up very funny one time.
And I made one over the summer when I had William and Rachel over, because we had a bunch of people who we were just gonna be with each other like almost every other day, or doing events and like driving places and stuff like that. And so we just wanted to keep track of people. So we had like 7 people or something on this Life 360. Donald and Avesy, if you guys know him, Avery included. And now they're the only 2 in Life 360 because either the rest of the people are inactive or we're not on good terms with anymore. So doodles. But yeah, so I can see where he is. And
How far
the
out?
thing is that it says it's not very accurate right now.
Gay.
His Wi-Fi is turned off right now.
Gay.
It says he's pretty much on his street, and it says it's not very accurate, so I'd assume he's home.
Gay.
So you can call McCall. You want to pay for his data bill?
Yay!
Why are you like this? Skybox isn't even in the chat.
Yes, he is. He just talked.
Yeah, he is.
What?
That's still
God,
pretty
he's
low, guys.
This guy.
He is right there. The evidence.
Zoop mad.
He is right there.
Why do I have a bunch of Pokemon emotes?
So sad.
Why do I have a ton of Pokemon emotes?
No.
Skybox, stop. Okay, I know you can hear me. Don't need your story.
She's
Oh,
cutting
you
out.
started the stream again.
Yeah.
He never ended it. It was just in BRB.
Yeah, I was like,
Well, I mean, be able to hear us.
yeah, but we've been sitting for so long. I was like, yeah, all right.
Now people can hear us.
Yay!
I could hear my own voice for a moment with the delay, and it was really disconcerting.
I hate
How do you guys put up with me, honestly?
because it doesn't sound that bad.
Same.
Because here's the funny thing: your voice sounds different in your own head. Nobody
Yep.
hears your voice in your own head, so you sound different only to you.
That's
You
why
actually
whenever you
register
hear
your
own-
voice a lot deeper. Like 4
whenever you
times deeper in your
hear
head.
yeah, whenever you hear your own voice, that's why it always sounds so pitch in like a recording or something.
Which is why I hate watching my videos and streams back, because my
Yeah.
voice is so fucking high. At
Yep.
least to
I hate
me.
videos and or streaming in general, or talking to people ever.
And Gus, remember Robbie?
Like, I
Robbie?
got a hard
Oh,
time
his
with-
voice is
I know
deep
Robbie.
as shit.
Just
That-
imagine how
It's
deep it is in his
insane.
own head.
He probably doesn't hear his own voice in his own head. It's
Yes,
so
yeah, you
deep.
did.
It probably
His voice just his voice, he just knows he's talking by the rumbling
just
and
a
resonance in
hum.
his skull.
It's just a
Yeah.
hum.
For those who don't know, this is how I fucking feel.
He's
It's
so
hard to tell what he's saying because he's
he's
so
so deep, yeah. I mean, I love him
Like,
to
if you
death, but
haven't
my
known
god,
him
that
for
man.
so long, it's hard to tell what he's saying half the time.
It's crazy how
I met him in a
difficult.
PE class when his voice was higher, and like,
Mm-hmm.
jeez.
His voice has always been deep in a relative sense for as long as I've known him. With him since I was like 10.
Well,
And,
so
oh my
Might have been
lord,
fourth grade,
that
I think.
man's voice.
dude, this whole so first of all, we're in quarantine. Now we have a curfew. What's next? Martial law?
It's
That's the
It-
next step. People
the
keep writing.
curfew. The curfew's only for the riots, and so I think it's only like 2 days or something.
Dumbass fucking like. I would
Because
like.
we've got rioters at Marie, as close as Marie Kerr Park.
Yeah, it's at Marie Kerr.
I am blissfully unaware of this.
Are you guys good? Please do not die to ride. Like,
Good thing I live down the street from
Sky.
Curve.
2 minutes.
Hey.
Yippee-ki fucking yay!
Hey, Sky, here's the funny thing. We already have multiple guns. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
good.
We're good.
There's the key to my
Okay.
dad's gun.
No,
store.
but-
I know
but
where
I-
he hides a spare.
But I actually saw a really good argument.
Actually.
Actually, I'm not gonna say that. That is incredible. I'm not gonna take political stances on stream. It just doesn't belong.
That's the smartest move you can make, Gus.
I will I will
That
make
is
an
for
argument
private
not on
messages. Don't be
stream.
like every fucking celebrity who thinks that anyone cares about their
I know,
goddamn
joke.
opinion.
No
They
joke,
are
Twitter.
entertainers. Why does their political opinion have to be truth for everyone else? It doesn't. You're not that important. You're just another person.
Out-of-state Texans unite. Yes, Sky. Yes.
Do
Yes.
yourself a favor and let's just change the subject while we are live on the internet.
No,
The internet can
simple.
suck it up.
Purge. Purge all the inferiors.
Inferiors. Clown.
Clowns.
Mad clowning. My stomach hurts.
I
that
mean,
pizza.
Mac still thinks I'm Southern, so you know. Apparently, I'm just Texan. I am Southern, but Southern California. That's not the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
In
wait.
the slightest.
Well, technically, California was actually part of the South. If you think, like, if you go back, California was part of the South.
No one considers it Southern.
Or
No, but-
Virginia at one point.
New law: all your D&D characters must cross-class into gunslingers.
You already got one.
So here's
got
the
one
thing:
gunslinger.
you started as a
Yeah, but this-
gunslinger, multi-classed into rogue, so it doesn't count.
Skybox
Wait.
is wanting to multi-class
I
into
actually just
gunslinger.
realized that if
Well,
you
I mean, you know, last time I was a dedicated pure gunslinger. This time I'm just
Dude,
doing it to-
gunslingers can
for
do
more
some
damage.
mad damage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not
So
even
they
And
only-
funny.
when bullets cost money and cannot be recovered, they're also gold slingers.
Also, by the way,
Why do you
way,
think I still have 100 bullets?
yeah, probably that is something I'd like to tell you. I'm keeping track of all the arrows that I fire because I can't recover some of them. Like the ones I fired at the demons, I can't get those back.
Yeah, no, those are gone.
So it's
Hey,
like which is
trust
why
players
I
to keep
got,
track of that,
which is
and
why I grabbed the 80 arrows because I'm like I'm gonna stock up for a long time.
Mhm. You just get a bunch of arrows. You get so many arrows to where your DM just finally decides, I think you might be getting low.
We'll find out. Cleric war. You're gonna.
You're
Mm.
not gonna need arrows the entire rest of the campaign, and then you're gonna get to like the in-game fights, and you're gonna run out on the boss.
I'm gonna.
That's actually,
That's the stock from the beginning of the game.
you know, probably if you do a good enough job convincing, I've actually put thought into putting Tessin into some cleric levels.
I was
We'll
actually.
see.
I was actually
Yeah,
thinking.
a child.
I was actually thinking that depending on how things go, not only would I multi-class into fighter, but I might multi-class into cleric because my faith in Lolth would be needed to sustain me through my journeys.
A wolf cleric, dear lord.
Oh lord.
However,
I'd be more of a paladin.
I would become a priest at that point, and priests are bullied until they commit suicide. So we're not gonna do that. Male priests are just because
less
priests.
love.
Yeah, it's great. So we're not gonna do that. However, I considered it.
Just society.
If you are looking for a new Underdark faith, though, I hear there's a certain Katoa who's really trying to spread his vision of peace and love.
I am going to kill him before
And
the.
if he doesn't kill him, Fearix might.
He will die by my hands before this game is over.
Is that a challenge?
Oh
You're
no!
at the last
Actually, no.
question.
I
He still hasn't died yet. Gus makes it a personal question to hunt him down the entire session
I
until
sh-
you
Oh,
try to
Our,
stab
our
him.
Red.
stool toad is their dude is living longer.
Red.
Yes.
I genuinely considered putting the mind flayer tadpole in him to
It just,
kill him.
You'd lose. Actually, then we'd win-win because we don't have that
The
thing anymore. So
tadpole,
maybe
and
do
he
it.
dies. I was gonna say.
The two of you that are
It's a win-win
in this
lose.
campaign, these are the NPCs they started with in their current status.
We're gonna fucking kill him.
No, I've become another mother. I don't.
What is it with you?
Look at him.
Hey, she hasn't picked anything up out of Avernus yet.
That's because I'm not playing a chick.
Marcus is
Yeah.
the mother. in
I'm
Avernus.
gonna
He's
turn
not the
Felix into a
adopted
guy and
dog
just
son.
gone.
You know what? You should probably feed that thing.
Stool.
Oh, look at him. Look at how sad he is.
Also, I want to say something. Are Eldritch Knights basically multi-classing as fighters and spellcasters?
Warlock. The
There's
term you're looking for there is
Wizard,
warlock.
Technically.
But Eldritch.
Warlock without signing your soul.
Eldritch Knight's fun though.
Yeah, but it's wizard spells that they're using. So it is more wizard
Yeah.
than it
But-
is warlock.
They
I
just
am-
know how to do
They're
the Eldritch
wizard Harry.
twist.
Mm.
My fighter, my old fight, one of my
So-
favorites from my Waterdeep campaign actually. She was fighter cross class with gunslinger, and then I went like Eldritch Knight. But the
Gunslinger
back-
is fighter.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, it depends on what
Multi-classing different fighters.
depends on what version you're playing. What version
It was
you're
an
playing.
one, but it was a lot of fun. If we do end up doing Waterdeep after Abyss, maybe she come back as NPC.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a
Uh-huh.
question. How the hell am I supposed to keep this damn tadpole alive, and how the hell do I make it work for me?
Kill it.
What's the
It's simple.
opposite
You
of what's
take.
in
Let's
the
see,
ass,
how
but
long is this
okay.
thing? A 12-inch blade. You grab its head nice and firmly
I
by
mean,
the neck, and
apparently
then
his training
slowly
is stab.
insert into its brain.
I mean, apparently his combat training is stab, so he should know that quite well.
Cat.
Oh, it's the cat just messing her. What's the cat doing this time?
She's just laying out.
She vibing.
Be vibing,
She
though.
do be vibing though.
No, Gus. What do you?
Me
It's a
just
mind
straight
flayer
vibing with a
tadpole.
gelatinous
You think it
cube.
eats.
What about my mind flayer tadpole?
You think it eats?
People's brains.
I mean,
The cat's
Baby.
just like.
Why am I here? Why do I live?
The cat.
I'm the only person who can hold her like this, too.
absolute infant.
Chonker.
Aaron, why have you made me so fat? I am obese and have heart disease just so you can call me a fucking chonker, you whore.
Oh, Skybox is going off in chat still. Hey, Sky, how's it going?
Aha, we are all back.
Donald.
Alright.
Alright.
Donald, he lives.
Ooh, what?
You've made it out.
Out of the abyss, called LA County.
Hey, fucking man.
Alright, so.
Also, I do want to
Take us
point out
with
really
you.
quick the one comment Sky made. This assumes that Gus's character can stand seeing him being actually superior to himself.
I wasn't gonna say
He
anything,
sees
but
plenty
yeah.
of them. He just doesn't accept it.
Oh.
Alright,
Tonight-
This is very much the, in the drow version of the KKK now.
my willingness to support your character is
My character's hoity-toity side has yet to come out because currently it's just survive. But
Current objective, survive.
Tessin is a rat.
no, not Tessin. What?
Oh.
Don't. What?
He's testing a palm down rat.
Awesome. Have you seen those eyes?
alright, you ready?
Possum mixed with Zuka.
Okay.
Let's get it.
So, you guys have just been pointed out oh, that's the one question I need to ask. Do you guys want to go to 6:30 like normal and end on time and finish out this encounter, or do you want to actually push into the dream sequence and end that, and then whenever we finish that, we end the session? Because of the break we just had
Earlier
to
would be
take.
better for me, but
Earlier? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Sad to
So
say.
just finish out this
Yep, that's fine.
thing.
That is A-okay. So
Get this skeleton his tooth. It's his favorite tooth.
it's his missing tooth, is what it is. Gotta get my book back.
All he wants for Christmas is his 2 front teeth.
So this flaming skull named
Christmas numbers?
Barnabas has pointed out to you a what is it? What is he? He is a
It was a
red cap.
hat.
There's
Red
a
cap.
red cap instead of a mad cap. A red cap named Barnabas or
stabbed
named
one of
named
those.
Grubba. He's told you that Grubba is the one who stole the tooth, though he doesn't know who actually has it or if it might even be Grubba. So. That is your best lead. He has told this to Tobias, Ranme, and Drifter. Ranme, you are dragging Tobias along behind you to go do
I'm
that.
going to attempt to grab Drifter as well, but I'm assuming he's just rooted himself, and I kind of get like yoinked back as I try to pull him.
I'll follow you.
Okay.
Yoink, and then he follows.
Yeah. And after we're kind of out of line of sight of the skull thing, I was like, all right, well, are we actually going to? But I mean, it could be any of these little fuckers.
Where are we right now? Are we still in the process of stab, or is that?
Yeah,
now
no,
done?
you guys are currently over still dealing with the man you assassinated.
I mean, is he really a man when he has that weird little gremlin-ish demeanor?
He's male. He counts as a man.
He's puntable.
Just because
like
he's
a chihuahua.
puntable does not make him a man.
Do we call chihuahua dogs? No. They're just
We
puntable.
call them rats.
Helpless, disabled gnome that you stabbed in the back twice.
Oh, hey, cat.
That the cleric doesn't know about.
Yep. And the cleric will never know about.
He's gotta stop letting you two go off on your own. I don't care if you are brothers.
You can't stop us.
We can just stealth into the void.
That's the worst part.
Very much just, what's that, and gone.
The minute I noticed both of you were out of my line of sight, I just let out a very deep, sad sigh and get on with it.
Alright, so what you doing?
I'm gonna look at Drifter.
Yes.
You're very good at being the large, intimidating type. How do you feel about maybe carrying a gnome?
Okay.
Gnome creature, I don't know what it is. That thing, awful little, horrible little man thing.
Man-like thing. Alright. I'll do it.
There was a. Did you overhear the conversation with the ghosty skull thing?
I will say he is too far away to have done that.
Alright. Well, anyway,
No.
there was a odd creature that approached me and our spellcaster friend here a moment ago, and apparently it had its tooth stolen by one of these little
And you physically
things.
can't say any
Hey,
name that starts with E-O-B ever again.
He's
Out of
he's
pure
working through
pain.
it, all right. He's in like the 3rd stage of grief or something.
Just skip it all and go straight to acceptance.
Fuck off, Marcus.
I'm not there.
So honestly, it's kind of an unsettling creature. I'd rather it not come back if we could just get its thing back and then maybe it go away. Yeah.
Alright.
Once tooth back, it said that one took it. I don't know more than that. We go step on him until he gives it back or something. Whatever works.
It's a high level of violence for anime. Glumpy.
Ranma Angie needs Snick.
He's not angry. He's just seen these things bullying other things and is now done with them.
Glumpy.
Grumpy. Also, I should point out that one of my fears is ghosts, and that thing looked a lot like a spooky ghost. I don't want to talk to it again. I just want to help it and make it go away.
Right.
Whatever gets that done.
Who you
Whatever
gonna
it takes.
call? Ghostbusters!
Whatever it takes.
So,
Right, so, like, I kind of look at Drifter. I was like, do you think you could maybe? Don't know. Don't really like me because I helped the big guy before.
Do you think I could? Do you want me to scare it?
He literally just kind of shrugs and goes, eh.
Okay, do you want me to scare it or kill it?
Well, killing's a harsh step. Let's just go with the scaring for now, yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
I kind of like stand up on my tiptoes to clap Drifter on the shoulder and say, "Good man, good man." I owe you one.
All right. What you doing? What you saying? How are you going about this?
Gonna start looking for it.
So you get pointed out the same red cap that Ranmei was, and you see him kind of standing around cheering at the game of rugby with a demon's head.
I love this.
And you also see on the field, at any given time, there are 3 or 4 fist fights between anywhere from 2 to 5 of these players, as you would assume they are, at any given moment. You also can't tell who's on whose team, and you can't tell the size of the teams, although you know that this head is getting thrown back and forth and is becoming more and more deformed as more and more pieces of it come, like, flying off with the force of getting pulled, punched, kicked, thrown everywhere.
Alright. I guess I'll just maybe wait around until it looks like nobody's looking.
He's in a small crowd. So you're going to be hard pressed for that moment, but standing around waiting, I'm going to have you roll perception.
No, for a second I thought that was a 1. That is not a 1.
It's a Nordic one.
Well, I need to know what the total roll is for perception.
Yeah, I'm trying to find more perception. 11.
Okay. After standing around waiting, you waiting for an opening, for no one to be paying attention, for him to be alone. It doesn't really come. However, you start picking up on the players appear to be passing a small pouch between them and out into the crowds. And at one point, you see a red cap walk past you and pass a bloody pouch to another red cap, who turns and tucks it into his pocket. And they're very wary of
drugs now?
They're very wary of the direction that Barnabas went. They're constantly checking, looking around as if watching for something, and they're very secretive. But they're not secret enough to hide from your gaze, Drifter.
I'm gonna start following them and roll stealth.
All right. So, what's your roll stealth? Oh boy.
I think I have like a plus either 4 or plus 6. I have a plus 5. That's a 7.
Why do you have that high of a plus for stealth?
Oh my lord! You're the
not gonna
largest
matter.
one here.
It's not gonna matter. They rolled.
Oh, of course
7
it's
on the
not
die.
gonna matter. But damn, son.
He rolled a 7 on the die.
What's
to
your
notice.
freaking dex stat? Holy shit.
Drifter has a really
That's a
high
good question.
dex.
I'm pretty sure I'm proficient with stealth as well.
Yes, he gets a total 10 perception. His passive is 13 anyway. So, creeping along behind this red cap, he turns around and goes, "What do you want?
Alright.
Don't you know what's good for you? Bug off!"
I imagine this like 2-foot little thing looking up at Drifter.
He very much has to lean backward just
What's
to
in the bag?
get quote-unquote
Demon
eye
armor.
right.
Intimidation to get him to tell me.
Okay.
Drifter, this dice does not like you.
Yeah.
This thing does not like you.
What'd you roll intimidation?
I still have a +6 to intimidation, so
So
that's
50.
15.
He looks at you and he goes, "What's it to you? Why does it matter?"
I'm gonna draw my longsword.
Alright, I got a tooth in the pouch. What does it matter to you?
It matters that you give me the tooth.
Make me.
Mike me.
I'm gonna walk over. So I'm there, right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over and say, hold on, hold on, Drifter. Let's not be too hasty about this,
I put the longsword back.
Mr. Gnome. You see,
Mr. Gnome.
a friend of
While
mine
he's
was
doing this, I
very.
would like to try and roll sleight of hand or something, and then just like try and take the bag.
Oh.
You're what, 7 feet tall or something?
Pick up the entire gnome drifter. Just pick it up.
Okay, so
Kick him
roll
up,
sleight of
physically
hand.
Take it from him like a child.
Roll sleight of hand. Tobias, keep talking.
Taking candy
Mr.
from a baby.
Gnome.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Continue. Just continue.
Does he just have like a little arm go out of his leg, I guess? Because he's a fat.
An acquaintance of mine was very attached to that tooth, and I was wondering if I could maybe make a trade for it.
Oh, so you're the one that did it to him. And you watch as Dreyfus just kneels down, grabs the red cap by like his shoulder, lifts him up, grabs the thing, sets him down again, takes the pouch in his hand, and the red cap looks up and he goes, "The fuck?"
Sit
Oh,
Drifter,
down.
I told you not to be hasty.
he. Hey, I was.
The red cap's like,
He
the red cap's like,
give it to me.
I don't want no trouble, man. Don't do it to me too. And he just turns around and like runs away from you for some reason, Tobias.
High
gave it to me,
tier.
and I was tasked with getting it back, and he wouldn't give it to me.
Yes, this is perfect.
High tier clownery.
50-50 chance the red cap gets upset and attacks, backed up by additional D4 red caps. You rolled a what's your total sleight of hand?
19.
Yeah, you beat the DC thoroughly. You're so big, you already intimidated him and he was already not going to attack you. You just yanked this thing for free. You're not sure what this red cap's on about, Tobias, but whatever it is, you get the idea. It's not good, but it's good to threaten these things with. And as soon as this creature comes
around saying you're the dude who knocked out the tooth.
as this creature goes running away, you see the night hag come out, and she sees him running. She goes, "What's?" And she walks up to the group of you three, and she goes, "Where's the other two? I'm ready to begin the ritual. It is very
Wait.
exciting."
Where are the other
And
two?
she rubs her
Oh,
hands
No. Oh boy.
together.
I'm not quite sure where they are.
Can we see them around?
Roll perception, because they're no longer stealthed, but Tessin is. Marcus isn't, but I'm going to still keep them being incredibly sneaky as they're wandering around. I'm going to roll perception for the night hag.
15.
Oh, the night hag gets a total 20, so she's not going to see you guys. That sucks.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, no, they got like 25, 26s. They're pretty
Yep.
difficult to see.
Uh,
You guys,
+5 or plus
Gang,
perception.
gang.
you guys,
I've got a
And that's
while
one in your back pocket.
you guys looking around struggle to find find Tessin and Marcus. However, they walk up behind the lot of you, and as they do so, Barnabas comes slinking up towards you guys, and he's like, he didn't see the hag first, and he goes, "Oh, hello, boss. I thought I had an idea, but I didn't. If you'll excuse me." And she goes, "Oh, no. What's your idea, dear? I'm sorry, I don't remember." She goes, "There's something wrong with your voice. I can't quite place it." And you all hear like this slight whistling as this flaming
Yes.
skull speaks.
Just
He goes, it's
no, I can't
it's
get it.
it's
Fuck, I
it's
used to be able to
it's
do it perfectly. Like I had.
it's don't worry about it. Never mind. And he sees you holding the pouch drifter, and he's actually gonna try to like sleight of hand it from you himself. He rolls a nat 20. So this flame
He
skull.
grabs with the rest of his teeth.
So the flame skull just like passes by, and Drifter like looking down, you realize the pouch is gone. You have no idea where the flame skull went either.
Great. What a
Flame got
wonderful-
that close to him and Drifter didn't notice. That's impressive.
That's some sneaky fire.
Uh, but you all hear like suddenly the clicking of like a bone together, and you turn around and you see him like working his jaw, and you see this tooth like floating, trying to like reseed it into his mandible.
Drifter looks over. Wait, is Ranmei here?
Okay.
It's Ranmei here.
Yes.
From
Oh,
next to you,
okay.
I look up at you and I just
He
say,
No.
he gets the tooth seated, and then you watch as he starts chewing on this ichor coated bag.
Ugh.
Like in a vengeful manner. He's like trying to tear it up with his jaw.
"Well, don't we have a dream ritual to get to or something for our dear
Is
friend
it-
Lulu? I'm just so worried about her. Yeah.
Is this the...
If you insist, come along, children. And she leads you into a small cave.
And
It's
his name is now
As
Bones
we
Lee,
walk, I
according
kinda,
to
like, pat
Sky.
Drifter on the back, say, thanks for that.
she leads you into a small
Upgrade.
cave, which appears to be like a waiting area or like a prep room, like just for visitors, before pushing into a larger cavern in which you see hulks of infernal war machines in different states of disrepair and cannibalization. You see, though specifically there are two relatively intact. You see one. I need to actually make sure I can describe these properly to you guys. You see, for the player's reference, you see what looks like a oh, what the hell? Is there not a devil's? Okay, you see what counts as, for size comparison, large, so double a medium-sized humanoid motorcycle, but with no wheels. Followed by what looks to be a large scarab on wheels, though it appears to have multiple pieces of plate armor missing, and it looks to have almost a crane arm, but with nothing attached. She leads you past these,
Mad Max.
through and into the cavern, further in, and she leads you to you to a small back area, where she's marked out with some black silk cloth that appears to have been patchworked together with different pieces of material. Obviously, it's good enough for her. She leads you into this small, almost private ritual area. On the ground, you see a fiendish circle of magic arranged in its center several black cushions, as well as specific points on its center. She points to Lulu and orders her to sit down on the black cushions, and then has the party sit on one of the black cushions. There's exactly 5 as she begins to set up skulls on specific points. She tells you to close your eyes as she kneels down on one such cushion and begins the ritual. She begins to tell you that if anyone tries to leave, the ritual will be interrupted and she has to start over. And that if she fails to complete this ritual, there will be no insight to her memories that she can provide. As she does this, you feel the same power of telepathy begin to enter your minds, forming that connection overshadowed by some infernal presence as the hag begins to connect to you.
That's a dirty 20 on insight.
She is telling the telling the truth.
Okay.
You all, as you close your eyes, you sense a brilliant flash of light, then pitch black. A tingling sensation sweeps over your bodies as a vibrant rainbow appears within your minds, and you begin to witness Lulu's first dream unfold. Looking around, you do not see the hag herself, though you hear her disembodied voice speaking to you. And there I'm going to end the session.
Oh boy.
You're in a fiend ritual.
The first bit of this ritual is really short, but I'm not gonna start it.
Aren't you, Ranmei? Good boy, cleric.
He is ramrod straight on his cushion, and you can tell he's trying his best not to start a scene, but he's...
Oh, I very much have
he
one
doesn't
hand on a
do
knife.
Oh, you guys are all,
Terrible
as
idea.
far, to put it bluntly, you are not in control of your bodies anymore. This is all a mental thing.
Ooh.
Angie.
I
This is a terrible idea.
love how
Never trust a hag.
comparatively to you two, Tessin's probably sitting like next to you two, just completely slouched and
Like, this is
not
normal
paying
for-
attention.
This is normal for
exhausted.
him.
It's
This is
not
normal
normal for
and
him
I'm
in the
done.
slightest. He's just tired.
He's just done with everything.
Yeah.
Tobias is probably slightly used to it.
Why are you all used to fiend magic? What is this odd group I found myself in?
Welcome to hell.
Hell.
Honestly, now I can only imagine.
There's the customary mass dice rolling that usually happens at the start.
Yes. Can I
Yep.
cast banishment on
No.
Tessin?
What?
If you think you can get away with it, yes.
If you
Great.
can get away without getting a freaking knife and a rapier through your neck.
You're gonna have by the time
Rebuke instantaneously?
by the time you get the banishment spell,
Blam.
by the time you get banishment, you will have much more important and much more dangerous things to worry about than banishing Tessin.
Thing though, I did have a question
Oh.
about that though. So the alignment changes if they leave the plane, is how it's written?
If you
Within
leave the plane
24 hours.
within 1d4 days, it's reversed. However, if you stay within 1d4 days,
Banishment
becomes
returns
permanent.
a creature to its home plane.
mm-hmm.
So if any of us needed to
Tessin,
just
if you go evil,
out
I'm
at any
literally
time.
pooping you back to.
Someone made a good point on how to implement that better than I did. I haven't yet implemented it after the last long rest you guys did, but I'm gonna start making it relevant again, and I'm gonna change the system for how it works. It's still based off a dice roll, but it's much more complicated than that as well. So
Cool.
Nice.
I was wondering if that would actually work though.
no,
Because I already
How
got
it's written,
my
I think
freaking
it-
plan
it just
if
needs-
Marcus goes evil.
So
Banish Marcus.
that was fun. I'm
Plan
ending
now.
the stream. I
No
will
one's
probably
going
stream
evil.
Dead by Daylight later. It's all good.
So, but-
Wait
You
for it.
banish Marcus, he's gonna be